Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Inside the Mind of RLQ. Today we're going to talk about one of the quotes that I wrote about 2 years ago. It's one of my earlier quotes, and it had to do a lot with letting go. And this is something that I learned throughout the way, because one of the hardest things for me to do during that dark time was I kept thinking about the past. I kept thinking of, like who I was before my accident, when I had my concussion. I always wanted to be that same Roger I was before, and that caused a lot of my anxiety, because I felt that I was changing in a way that I saw myself, that I wasn't happy about myself. So I kept telling myself, like, I'm never going to be the same Roger again, and I really, really, really wanted to be that version of Roger, and then there was also another thing that I kept blaming, was that the day of my accident, I had to drive my niece that day, and that was the reason why I felt that was the reason why I slipped, because if I hadn't had driven her home, I wouldn't have slipped on the ice, and I wouldn't have the concussion, and I wouldn't have gone through my anxiety and depression, right? So I kept blaming her for all those things. For that day, I blamed her family for it. I started creating all these things, and that caused so much anger inside me, and it wasn't necessary for that to happen. So today's quote that I'm going to talk about is, "Yesterday is gone, so focus on today for a better tomorrow." Because when you think about it, really, like, everything that just happened in the past, you can't change anymore. It's done. It's already past. But we have that, and we all do it. We all go back to our past, and we look back at our mistakes. We look back at some of the things that we've done that we could wish that we had gone back to the past to fix. But these are all the things that are part of our journey, that we need to learn from these mistakes in order to, so when it does come again, we know what to do, right? It's like studying for a test, for example, right? You have to study it first before you can get the correct answer, and then you just have to keep doing it until you can get perfect, right? So, and holding on to the past can really stop you from moving on to the future, whether it's a relationship issue or whether it's just something that you wish you had never done before, right? And we just hold on to it. And I look back at that day. I always look back at that day. What if I didn't have to drive her? What if I didn't slip on that piece of ice? My life may have been better. And I kept telling myself, like, Roger, man, I really, really want to be that same Roger, what I was before, but I didn't see what I could have been in the future. And that's when focusing on the present moment is so important, because when I started to let go, because I started telling myself, why am I blaming her for? Is it really her fault that I slipped on ice? Am I angry for no reason? What if I made peace with that, and I said, maybe it was my fault. It was my fault that I wasn't wearing my boots that day, and so I had to change it a little bit so that I can change the way I was thinking about that incident. And then I look back at myself. Was that the Roger that I really want to be, or can I become a better version of myself? Can I become a better version of Roger? And so I started to put the past away, because my goal was to move forward. I learned that by living in the past, it's like an anchor on a boat, right? The boat's not going to move if that anchor is set, right? It's just going to stay in the same spot. So if you pull up that anchor, which is your past, then you're going to be able to allow yourself to move forward. And that's what I did. I made peace with my niece, and I also looked at myself, at the version of myself before my accident. I said, you know what? That it was just a version of Roger. And were you actually happy then? What can you do to yourself so that you can see yourself and be more proud of yourself, that you are a better version than you were back, how you were back then, right? So making peace with all that really, really helps. And I know sometimes it's really hard to let go of all these things, because we think a lot, And sometimes these thoughts in our head, our past comes back, and because we can't tell what's happening in the future, right? So we can think, we can worry, we can kind of visualize what's going to happen in the future, and most of the time we're not thinking that positive about what's going to happen in the future, right? So what you have to do is you have to focus on today, because today is like the present moment is the most important out of all three. Because when you are creating something positive for your today, for the present moment, then you are creating a path for the future, right? If you are including your past into if it's not a good past, right? If there are negative thoughts or bad memories, and you are bringing along with you on your journey, on your present moment, then you're not really allowing yourself to open that path for you to create a brighter future. Because the goal is you want to be happy, right? You want to have, at the end of your journey, you want to be able to experience all these things. And if you're continuously dragging your past with you, right, carrying it with you, and you're not allowing yourself to experience the other good things that can happen to your life, because you're always thinking about the past, right? So focus on the present moment. And I started to do that, and I do that every single day. I block out yesterday, and if I am thinking about the future, I'm thinking about my goals, where I'm going to see myself in the next week, the next month, and the next year, and what I need to do today so that I can get to that level where I can say, you know what, I made it, because I took those little steps every single day. And the past, you can look back at the great stuff, the great moments. Those are the moments that are going to bring you joy and happiness. Bring those along with you so that you can take that with you on your journey, because that positive energy from your memories can remind you that that happy days exist. A lot of the times we don't really think about those moments. We think about the bad moments. So if you can just switch it, so that you can take a look at your past, and read out the negative things from it, but grab hold of the positive things with you along your journey, and then take that with you, and move forward with it, and also focus on what you want to do today, which is the present moment, on how you can become a better version of yourself. Because ultimately what I learned, right, is that you want to be able to see how far you can go, and how much you can accomplish, right, before your journey here on earth is over. And there's a lot of things you can do, right, but you have to visualize it, right? You have to visualize yourself in this moment where you can see yourself being successful. And when you start working on that, towards that every single day, you're going to take those little steps like I did. I had to start from rock bottom, right? So it was like being stuck in mud for like the longest time, but I was able to slowly take those little steps, and figure out how to do it. And this quote that I wrote, I live by it, and it has helped me daily. And it has gotten me to a level where I can say, that version of that Roger that I wanted to be back then, that was not the version I should have been thinking of. I should be thinking of the version of Roger that is the best version of Roger, right? Because right now you're only a fraction of what you can become. You are just a little fraction of who you can become, and you can get to a level where you can be this person and you could be this person up here at the top, right? So focus on today. Try to let go of the negative things that has happened to you in the past, so that your tomorrows are going to be brighter, they're going to be better. And and you can look back and say, I did the right thing. I worked every single day, working on a better version of myself every single day. And I did that, and I see myself now, and I can compare myself right now, who I am today compared to who I was before my accident, before my anxiety and depression, that I am a much stronger person, and I learned so much about myself through my journey. And you know, and every single day I'm going to continue to do it. You know, I'm going to keep working on myself, and see how far I can really go. So hopefully hope this video helped. I will catch you on episode 3, which should come out very shortly. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you can. That would help me greatly. And remember, your mind matters. Take care. Bye bye.